I am tired of all these streaming apps.
Oh my God, what's wrong now?
$10 a month, $20 a month, and if you get the no ads plan, it's suddenly triple.
Ugh, yeah, that hurts.
I just want to listen to music without worrying about costs, shuffle it, hear surprises, pay less.
You can.
Wait, what?
This.
Oh, wow, I forgot this song even existed. What app is this?
No app. That's 98.9 The Bull. That's called radio.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Staying Power. This is a show that is all about building a better life, something all of us want, but don't always know how to get. And two of those people who want it, but don't always know how to get it and keep seeking it, are here with you again this week to take about an hour of time to talk about one element to building a better life. And we hope that that conversation resonates with you and you can apply it in your own life, like we try to apply in our own lives. Who's we? Well, there's me, JDK Winnikin, on one seat, and then across from me, one of my favorite people on the planet, and really just a great, lots of everything. Pretty much everything she chooses to do, she does it well.
Oh my gosh.
Ashley Kniebel. Hi, Ashley.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm great.
It's true.
Thank you.
It's true. Yeah, what you choose to do, you tend to do well. So, all right. Anyway, at least what I see. Right. I don't know if you try things and fail miserably and never tell anybody.
I mean, I fail from time to time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we all do.
How are you doing?
You know what? I am doing pretty well. I am happy to be here. I've had a good week. I've had a real busy week and had a lot of interesting things going on. I'll share a little bit about it in our 2 minutes of terror.
Oh, snap. Okay.
Our weekly segment, which will be later in the show. So I'll talk a little bit about that. But overall, living life and living life well. So
very good.
That's, and I
like that.
Good things are going on. So,
okay.
All right. So how's your week been?
It, like yours, has been very busy.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very busy. There's been a couple days where I am certain it was like 2.5 days packed into one. And I look at the clock and I'm like, wow, morning was so long ago. And sometimes those are good days because I might look back and be like, I got so much done today.
Mm-hmm.
Feel good, feel accomplished. I feel like all that time was like really put to use. So then there are other days. And I'm like,
right.
What is going on?
Right. What's nice at this time of year in the Pacific Northwest, I know we talk about the light and lack of light on this show a lot up here in Seattle. But what's nice is we're in the time of year where you can go to work and the sun is out and you can come home even after a long day and it's still light out.
It was like, I think it was like 8 o'clock at night the other night and I was driving home and I'm like,
yep.
Wait, it's light out? This is so
what time is
weird.
It?
I know. I kept thinking like I had so many hours before I had to go to bed. And then I was like, no, you're going to bed soon.
The flip side is rough during the winter when you're going to work in the dark and then when you leave work, it's dark. that part's
that is a challenge. But I also am like, if it's dark and then dark, then I really didn't miss out on anything by being stuck in my office for like 8 hours a day.
There you go. There's Ashley finding a silver lining, even though it's a silver lining you can't see in the dark, but nevertheless. All right.
Still there.
All right. So, Ashley, last week when we talked about what happens when the things that we see in other people that annoy us or, challenge us, how do we look at things? We had a little bit of an aside as a topic that I put out there. And we were talking about the feelings or the expressions that we can both push down a little bit.
Yes.
And I mentioned ambition.
Yes,
being
I
one of
remember you were talking about this.
Yes.
Okay.
That I want to expand a little bit on that this week,
okay.
if you're okay with that.
Wow, he found another topic.
Not ambition necessarily, but about this idea of, because I asked myself after that, what is this? Is it really ambition? Maybe it is. Or is it this idea that I could have a bigger, better, broader standard for what is possible in my life, right? If I don't like ambition because of negative associations, like I talked about last week, maybe reframing it around, do I limit what I believe is possible for myself because of past conditioning, because of all these things? And does that have a real life effect on how I approach my life? Do we limit ourselves without really knowing we're limiting ourselves? And so I looked into this, and here's the thing.
What?
We can and we do. I know.
Shocking.
I know. Shocking. Here we go. Right. So I want to talk a little bit about that because I also had an experience recently in my new job that highlighted this very clearly to me. And I will share that story here in a little bit. But I thought we could talk a little bit about that. This idea of limiting ourselves and where does that come from? Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So let's talk about that. But first, before we do, all of you, thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. If you're watching on our YouTube channel at Staying Power Show, if you're listening to this at our radio home, 1150 AM KKNW, if you're listening to this as a podcast, because it's available wherever you get your podcasts, we thank you for being here. And we really appreciate it. Appreciate your support at all those locations. You can find links in the show notes to other episodes, as well as to all the different ways you can connect with Ashley or myself on social media, on our email, stayingpowershow@gmail.com. You can also find out information there about our amazing sponsor, Pars Revive Renovation, a home renovation company here on the east side in Seattle. And they really serve the whole Puget Sound. And they do beautiful redesigns, re-envisioning of interior spaces. We always talk on the show about helping us develop and beautify our inner spaces inside ourselves. They do this in our homes, which is why they match up really well with us. And we're so glad that they see us that way and we get to see them that way. And we're going to be showing examples of their work on social media. I hope you guys will check that out. If you want to know more about them, please go visit their website, Pars Renovation, P-A-R-S, renovation.com, right? ParsRenovation.com. All right, go check them out. And we have links to that in the show notes as well. So, all right. So with that in mind, Ashley.
Okay.
You don't strike me as a person who limits herself very much.
Oh.
Do you think that's true? Do you have ways in which you do limit yourself?
I would say yes.
Okay.
However, when I recognize them, then I am like questioning of, well, why are you? Are you comfortable with limiting yourself now that you know that you are? Mm-hmm. Do you want to change this?
Okay.
So yes, because I'm human, but it's not too common. Mm-hmm. I don't like living a sedentary life. I don't like being average. I like to, as me and myself, try and push myself to keep growing and learning and becoming a better, smarter human being that can actually give something back to the world and try and make my little place better. Mm-hmm. So I have a lot of ambition.
Gotcha. Yeah. And I mentioned last week, I have trouble admitting that. Do you have trouble admitting that?
That I'm ambitious?
Yeah.
No.
If you can see the look on her face, please watch this episode on YouTube so you can see a look. Because when she says it that way, just no. That's she means it, and it's true. Because like, yep, it's so great.
Thank you.
I know, just laughing at it.
I mean, I guess there's times where I am scared to admit it because I feel this innate like, but what if I fail?
Yes.
Should I put it out there if
of course.
Because to me, there's different types of ambition. There's the ambition of like, I want to try something new. I want to put myself out there. And there's all the excitement and the glorified ism of it and the curiosity like we talked about last week. But then there's the other part of ambition that it's where you want to push yourself into a realm you've never gone into before.
Yeah,
so you're reaching
see what's possible.
Yes, you're reaching through the glass ceiling that you have on your life.
Yeah.
And you don't know if you're going to make it, and you don't know what will happen if you do make it. And there is fear on both sides of those.
Absolutely.
And that ambitious side of me is there. It struggles a little bit with the fear of not knowing what's going to happen if I'll make it, and then what would happen if I did make it. However, there is something really exciting about it too. Yeah,
for sure. You just described it very, very well. It's that broadening into what's possible, challenging ourselves, pushing ourselves, opening ourselves up to that possibility, including confronting the feelings of what if I fail / what if I succeed, both of which can be really powerful deterrents from doing that, believe it or not. There's a quote I came across, unattributed. I don't know who said it, but it really struck me with this. It says, most people don't fail because they aim too high. They fail because they've already quietly decided what's possible and have never questioned it.
Ooh.
Yeah. And I think there's something to that. This might be a good time for me maybe to tell the contextual story. What do you think that I mentioned?
Sure.
A minute ago?
That might help.
In my new job, I recently had an opportunity to travel with my boss as well as another coworker to a convention in Vegas, and was down there for a few days. It was really good. Really good to go down there. I learned a lot. This is a new industry for me that I'm in health insurance. And I'm learning a lot about it. I actually am enjoying it. I'm enjoying all the different things. I love to learn stuff. You know this, right? Like to do this kind of stuff. But when I was down there, I'll never forget. We got to the hotel, and this was a nice hotel, really nice
JD,
hotel. I was like,
very excited.
Wow, okay, this is really nice. And we got there the day before everything started, and so as we're checking in, my boss is taking care of it, and she's been doing this for a really long time. She says, "Okay, we're going to do this. We're going to do this. Set that up. We want all," and she's essentially setting up these great dinner for us that night at a really nice restaurant. She took us out for an evening, like an evening event that was, certainly very fun, but not cheap, right? Vegas, by the way, has gotten really expensive.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, and she noticed this look on my face. I am not used to seeing that kind of money going out the door,
sure.
right? Going out the door. And this is not a person who is flippant about money. She's an excellent businesswoman. She takes care of her business. She's good with money, all these things. And she noticed this look and she said something to me. She said, "You're a little uncomfortable with that?" And I kind of nodded and said, "I'm just not used to it." She goes, "You need to redefine what's possible for you." Because this is all in around, she said, "This is all in the realm of possibility for you as you're learning how to do this." Right. And we're not talking crazy stuff at all. She wasn't worried because she's allowed herself to build out something that is possible for her, and she's comfortable doing it. And I thought about that a lot the rest of that night and the rest of that trip, right? It was like, wow, I really can keep myself limited, right, on this. Now, part of that was because for a number of years now, as I talked about recently on a few episodes, I've kind of been in a level of survival mode, just trying to kind of, pin one paycheck cycle to another and be okay.
Right.
I'm not having to do that increasingly now. And so this is a muscle I am not used to flexing. This is a series of possibilities I've just never really thought of because, as to be fair to myself, I really couldn't. When you're in survival mode, you're just trying to get to the next thing.
Sure.
But that was her point. You're no longer in survival mode. What might be possible now might be different. And what has stood out to me since this happened is how, like you just said, I am equal parts thrilled at that possibility and intimidated by that possibility. And so I thought we could just...
I think that's a great topic.
Okay.
Thank you for sharing that story.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. So it resonates with you. I can tell. You know how I can tell?
Why?
You stopped getting snarky and laughing at me.
I gave you the floor.
That's okay. It's okay. So that sounds familiar to you, right? In terms of that. Okay. Yeah, it's interesting. And she's not wrong. The fact is, if I can keep doing what I've been doing and learning what I'm learning, I enjoy being in an industry that I can help people, right? And all of that. And it also can allow me to do really well for myself in ways that I haven't done before. Right? It's going to take hard work, but I'm not averse to that. No. Right? It's just a matter of learning it.
Yeah. From what I know of you and from what I know of the industry that you are in, because I'm in like a cousin of yours. Yeah. In a way.
Yeah, you are.
But this is going to be fantastic for you, and it's going to be even greater for the people that end up working with you in this, because you are really good about, especially when you know it like through and through. And I know it's a learning curve right now, but once you get to that point where you really know this stuff, like you're an expert in it and you are, and you're very comfortable with it. And just the fact that the people you're going to be helping them and bringing not only like your knowledge, but also your ability to connect with people and understand them. And you always provide this, you like create an environment for people where they naturally feel like they can let some stress down and relax their guards a little bit, and they feel very comfortable. And so for you to be in a space that is usually very stressful and can be debilitating for some people, and like you're going there, I'm like, you are going to be such a light for so many people, and I'm really excited for you to go so far with your ambition, because it's going to take you probably a lot further than you or your boss can see for yourself. I know your boss, and I love her dearly.
Yeah, she's great. I appreciate that. Thank you. It's and what's interesting is noticing my response.
All of a sudden, his snark was gone
Yeah,
also.
mine was gone too. Yeah, appreciative. Thank you. Good point. It's true. It's called connecting, right? I appreciate that. And, there's that part, again, that not intimidation, but that stirring up of the feelings of, man, okay, yeah, there's a lot to that. And right now, I should say, right alongside it is, you mentioned the learning curve. The learning curve sometimes is a hairpin turn.
Very curvy.
Yeah, it's very curvy. And I
like curves, so this should be great for you.
Yeah, and yeah. I've had some really good moments, and I've had some really tough lessons so far. But only tough in the sense of I hold myself to a completely unrealistic standard. I can catch myself doing that. That I'm supposed to know something more or be better at something on a completely arbitrary deadline, completely made up by me, right? And it's not my best self that I bring to that when I'm like that. And unfortunately, what happens is, because I'm in something new, I default just get up in my head. The brain solves it, the brain solves it, the brain solves it. Ironically, all the things I work on with coaching clients to move away from. And it has taken some people in my life, people I'm close to gently remind me and show me that I don't need to do it that way, right? And I can let go a little bit of that. And they know who they are, and I deeply appreciate them because they're reminding me of things I know, but most importantly, I know in my body, if I can reconnect with that, just calm myself down and allow myself to not be immediately, quote unquote, good at something. It's not like I'm good at everything I try. I'm not. But when I decide to go all in on something, I really want to be good at it right away.
Right.
Number one, because I can stop being uncomfortable.
Sure.
There's that message.
Sure.
Two, a genuine one is I want to contribute, right? I want to do well. I want to give to the group that I'm working with, right? I want to do well for my boss, right? I want to show that that was a good decision bringing me on, right? And I want to be able to do things for myself that I haven't been able to do before or in a long time. Mix all that together in the middle of trying to learn a whole new industry and all that. It's been something. So kind of keeping my eye on what might be possible. One of the dangerous flip sides for me right now where I'm at is I can, the art of what might be possible, I can go to the catastrophe.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
On top of that.
Really fast.
Yeah, really fast. Really fast. Okay. All right. So it sounds like we're off to a good start here.
We are.
Okay. So Ashley really wants to reach across the table and pat me on the head right now. I can tell. She's got that look. Yes, we are, JD. Yes. You feel good. Anyway, let's go ahead and take a break. You're on Staying Power. And when we come back, we're going to dig into how all of this works, where all this comes from, and why we all do this. And it's not because of a failure of anything. It's because of how we are wired. We'll be right back here on Staying Power. On Staying Power, we talk a lot about building a better life.
And a big part of that is the space you live in every day.
That's why we're excited to partner with Pars Revive Renovation, helping homeowners across the East Side and Puget Sound create spaces that truly reflect who they are.
Whether it's a kitchen, bathroom, or full home renovation, Pars Revive focuses on thoughtful design, quality craftsmanship, and your unique vision.
Because just like personal growth, your home should evolve with you.
To learn more, visit parsrenovation.com. That's PARS renovation.com and start building a space that supports the life you want to live.
Don't ask me to talk.
There's a lot of talk out there. Political talk, sports talk, girl talk, trash talk, and so on. But there's only one, Don't Ask Me to Talk, helmed by conversational off-roaders and podcast pals Eric Ryder and Stacy Heller. They follow every tangent they encounter, from cultural blind spots to their infamous weekly Wheelo topics. Listen wherever you listen to your fave podcasts. Subscribe and share too. Or tune in every Saturday at 3 p.m. or Tuesday at 4 p.m. on KKNW.
Easy on the ears, good for the soul. Alternative Talk 1150.
Welcome back to Staying Power. JD here with Ashley.
Hello.
And we are talking about expanding what might be possible for ourselves. Why do we limit what we think is possible? And a couple of things, Ashley, as we dive into this. We're going to talk about the brain and some of these other things and wherever else we go, right? Because, just for those of you who are newer, you'll know that we do come in with some plans of things to talk about, but we also like to kind of leave it open
Yes.
right? And see where we end up. And
We always have notes, and sometimes we really stick with our notes, and then sometimes
we don't, right?
we might as well have lost the notes.
But that's why, connected conversation does that, right? Does do that. So, all right. So there's a couple things worth remembering in this. Last week's episode, we talked a lot about how the things about ourselves that we limit have to do with how our brains function.
Mm-hmm.
They create patterns. They help us predict what is safe, what is not. They help shape what we think, what we feel, what we believe in. In this context, it's just worth saying before we get into this, the brain is designed to be a prediction machine, right? It's meant to do that. Predict what is safe, predict what is not, make plans for the future, make adjustments in the present, right? And make sense of the past. That's what it's meant to do. It's a prediction machine, but it's looking for that based on our past experience. It's using prior data to determine what might be likely in a given situation, what's safe, what's worth trying. Mixed in with that is our past experience. We talked about that last week. How does that shape us, right? It helps shape our level of risk tolerance, our level of confidence, our expectations, what our experience with rejection, to what degree we fear it, right? Failure, embarrassment. The brain is what tells us, don't ever do that again, right? Or definitely go do that again, right? That kind of thing. And so it can create notions of scarcity or abundance, that type of thing. And all these things working together can start creating a sense in ourselves of limits, and limits that involve keeping safe what you got and not risking anything, right? Or minimizing risk. Protect your current state because you can't expect it to get much better because it could always get worse.
Right.
These are the things. But an abundance mindset that's really what we're talking about, expanding out. The brain can do this too, right? We can teach it, right? We can take it new places. It can help us expand what possible options are out there. Our willingness to kind of test possibilities, to take some risks and be open to outcomes instead of having to predict them all, right? So I think it's important because the threat detection system, Ashley, in the body, the amygdala, is always looking for that. And I know we talk about it and I know we laugh about it, but and the reason why I think we can talk and laugh about it is because it is remarkably simple to identify where this is happening. And it's in some ways just as simple to identify ways that we can counter it, but only simple in its conception. It can be really difficult in execution, right? Because of these things that we're conditioned. We want to move from the emotional responses, the conditioned responses in the amygdala portion of our brain, and steadily move our decision-making and our choices and our view of the world towards the prefrontal cortex, right? That reasons, works things through, lets things go, and works with our emotional state to kind of keep us on the level, right? That type of thing. So that's a big part of this, right? Is that threat detection system. And of course, the brain, like any good system that wants to, the possibilities, wants to minimize errors.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah. So that's where your habits and routines come in, right?
Yeah, the good ones and the bad ones.
Right. Well, because it's predictable and it is safe and it doesn't require a lot of effort. Your brain can save its energy if it starts building those habitual pathways, and then it just sends you on the course every morning you wake up. It's like a little roller coaster in your brain. Like it just sets you on your thing, and then you go, and it's like, okay, good. I don't have to worry about that today. And low energy over here, and we can conserve. But it's kind of fun to create new patterns.
Yes, it is. Yes,
throwing
it is.
that off by doing something ambitious.
Right, because those patterns can be very limiting, right? And then they can be expansive. That's the good news, right? I guess that's the larger point. We can do more to choose these things than we think, right? And how we do this. But yet we hear the term self-sabotage all the time, right? All the time. This person self-sabotages, right? We all can do this. But it's not from laziness. It's protection.
Yeah.
Exactly what it is.
Well,
right?
because then you don't have to admit that you failed.
Right.
Because then you're like, well, obviously I tried. Look, I gave effort. I did my best. And, as fate would have it, it just wasn't in the cards for me. Or, whatever little excuses and nuances we want to say and make bumper stickers out of it. It's no, you are doing this to yourself.
Yes.
If you are not comfortable with no as an answer, you would keep going. You would keep trying. But there is something for those that allow self-sabotage and they welcome that in, There's something really comfortable about the no.
Yeah, there is. Because then it provides something known, right? Okay, I can't go any further there.
Right.
Right. So again, it becomes about protecting what you've got rather than going towards.
Yeah, when you're comfortable,
something.
even
Right.
if you're miserable, you're still comfortable because you know it and you can
It's
count
known.
on it and it's safe and it's good enough and
Yep.
and life has been okay so far. So let's just live the same day over and over and over again for years until this is over.
Yeah. Familiarity, at least you have some sense of familiarity, right? I mean, it's, and we think of the classic forms of self-sabotage, right? Procrastination, overthinking, starting things and not following through, right? But downplaying opportunities is another one, right? We hear about those first three all the time.
Yes.
That fourth one we don't normally include because we tend to go, well, I'm just being, I usually spot this when somebody says, well, I'm just being realistic. Yeah. Maybe, but maybe you're limiting yourself. How do you know? How do you know what's real when what's possible changes all the time? New opportunities come all the time. And the problem with that is, things might go badly. Let's avoid it. Is you're guaranteed to never have anything really go well or to limit the opportunities where things could go well because you're so busy avoiding the possibility that they might not go well. Right. Yeah. So that's something I know that I have struggled with. Right. And this experience I had, on this trip showed me that. Right. Because when my boss said that to me, it was like, ooh, whoa, do I do that? And the answer was really clear, really quick. And I mean, like, about as long as it takes to have a thought enter your head and leave it.
Yeah.
It was, yep, I can do that.
So now that you know that,
Mm-hmm.
is there anything that you do from day to day, or do you have a thought at all when you walk in the door at your new job now related to that at all? Like, does that moment ever cross your mind?
Every day, in some way, shape, or form. My dominant thoughts going into work right now are, what do I need to get done? Well, what's waiting for me, which sometimes has trepidation with it. I try to turn that into, okay, what do I need to work on today? What can I learn out of this today? When I frame it that way, it's much better, right?
Yeah.
It's much better. But yes, it does enter my mind to go, each day that I learn more gets me further, right? Expands out what's possible a little bit more. And I'm seeing that happen, right? I mentioned last week in 2 Minutes of Triumph about, got through the move and got through all of that and, got through the financial crunch of that, which is always my number one concern. And now I'm on the other side of that and I don't have to feel as crunched financially. That doesn't happen without me doing this for the last few months, right? I'm not in that position without that. And maybe that sounds really basic to people who've been doing jobs like this and earning salaries for years and years on end. I've been out of that steady place for a while prior to this, 18 months. I kind of forgot what it felt like, right? I forgot what it can do. And so for me, that's kind of still a new profound rediscovery of, oh, that's what happens when you stack these minutes into hours, into days,
you see the
into
compound
weeks.
of it.
Yeah, you see the compound of it. And I have to remember that that's the whole process, right? Creating a broader capacity for what's possible involves doing those things each day and compounding over time. There's no magic to that. So in order to do that, what I have to watch out for is the areas that I've been conditioned towards, like stepping back from or avoiding, or kind of learned helplessness, which I know we talk a lot with clients who talk about like learned helplessness. I have to really watch for those things, right? Because without knowing it, I can turn all my old past senses of limits into assumptions about the future. Because it's been this way, right? It's going to be this way. Even though past experience is not a predictor of future events, you hear that saying all the time, we don't always take that to heart.
Sure.
Right? In this sense, particularly when it involves the day-to-day, mundane, get up, go to work, put your head down, get it done, surf the waves that come, go to lunch, come back, get through the afternoon, go home, wash, rinse, repeat.
Yes.
Yeah. So anyway, it does. It does come up on the daily. Does it for you? I mean, you are one of the most full people work-wise. You know, we've joked on the show before, like when she's coming to the studio, she'll give me a call. And usually it's a download, right, of stuff, right?
Yeah.
How about for you? I mean, you are in a job where you are full managing people a lot. I'm learning a new craft. I'm kind of doing this, but I'm not managing people.
True.
How does this question kind of infiltrate, or this issue infiltrate into your life? How do you experience it? This idea of building what's possible.
Ooh, that has actually been the question that I have been handling within my occupation in my office for at least the last year, because we brought in a coach. For people who have been tuning in for a while, last summer you learned that we brought in a coach to really help reshape and help structure things and grow things and whatnot. And so a lot of what I had been tasked with is, what do you see? What can you project and see? What is the ambition you see the office can do and grow, and how can you be better, and areas of improvement, whatnot. So there have been many, many days where I've walked into the office with optimism of like, okay, where can we improve, and how is this going to be better, and what can I take on to help with that and whatnot. And some of it felt very natural. Mm-hmm. I'm like, oh, this is great. I at least now I have a guide to know how to get there, but this feels right, and this feels comfortable, and this feels really aligned with what I know I'm good at. And then there have definitely been things where I'm like, I am not comfortable with this. I don't want to have that conversation, but I know it is necessary. And it's been a mix, to be honest, but I've never shied away from the opportunity to grow. I took that position similar to like you taking the one that you're in now, like having no experience in the field, no knowledge about anything of it whatsoever, and was basically handed something and was like, I trust you with this. I have built this for the last 12 years, and I need someone to take the reins and do something with it. And why they gave the reins to somebody who knew nothing about anything of it, I don't know. But they felt an innate feeling of like, this person has characteristics that will guide her and will probably do very well. And that is so unnerving to think that someone looks at you and sees a value and an ability in you that you don't see yet.
God, that's what I'm going through right now.
Yeah.
Keep going.
And you're
keep
like,
going.
Are you sure it's in there? Because I'm not feeling anything. I don't know where you're seeing this. I know I know what I know about myself, and I know what I'm capable of right now, but what you envision in me, I don't know how to get there, and it's going to be rocky, but thank you for trusting is kind of where I started, right? And I did grow. And, you know, I joined like business networking groups and whatnot, and that really helped me grow, and then in turn helped me grow in my position. And then we got a coach and all this stuff over the last like 5 years I've been there now, and there has been like a nonstop growth for myself in the last 5 years. As soon as in the office and whatnot, it felt like, okay, I finally reached a spot, like I can breathe, Hakuna Matata, like we can just relax for a hot second here and just enjoy the waves.
You kind of know how to maneuver.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, like something would happen, it would rock the boat, and then I'm learning again and I'm growing again. And it has been fantastic. Would do it again in a heartbeat, honestly. I have definitely been shaped so much professionally and personally in these last 5 years. And I have learned so much of how to take that in stride that I'm like, this can't be the only thing. What else can I do? I don't want this to be the only thing.
Right.
I want to do more. I want to take on more. I want to grow in other areas, not just in my field and my occupation, but I want to grow in other places and other ways.
You ended up here.
Yes, and this is one of them. And you know, and I still and I learned how to take that in stride. And sometimes, you know, when you are feeling your plate so much, there are things you're going to have to let go to make room. And I have learned how to do this in such a stride now that I can take on new things. And I have to evaluate, what am I going to let go so I can let this new thing in? If it's a bigger thing, that's going to be a time, you know, constraint and whatnot. But there's more excitement now. I still have the nerves of the ambition of like what's going to happen if I fail or what's going to happen if I reach a spot and I don't know what I'm doing. But I'm so much more excited about it now.
Wow. You're giving me a lot of hope for the future.
Yeah,
yeah, you are. Because I really resonate with that. It's very different scenarios, right?
Mm-hmm.
And yet similar levels of trust,
Mm-hmm.
right? Put in. So yeah, that's interesting. Okay. So where are we at? How are we on time?
We got like a minute left.
Got like a minute left. Let's just go ahead and just go to the break. I think
Okay.
that's best
Well,
thing.
we have a segment on the other side to get to.
We do. It's our weekly segment. This week it is 2 minutes of terror, something that was, I guess, under the broad umbrella of terror over the last week. Ashley and I will talk about that after the break, what we got out of it, all in the name, of course, of connection, vulnerability, all the things that we think are key ingredients to building a better life. So we will be right back here on Staying Power with that, and also talk about some practical ways that we can kind of work through this and kind of open up to more possibility, redefine that in our lives. Stick around.
If you've been thinking about upgrading your home, this might be your sign.
We're proud to be sponsored by Pars Revive Renovation, serving Bellevue, the East Side, and the greater Puget Sound.
They specialize in turning everyday spaces into something functional, beautiful, and tailored to you.
From kitchens and bathrooms to full renovations, they bring the same level of care and attention to detail that we talk about here on Staying Power.
Because your environment matters. It shapes how you feel, think, and live.
Check them out at parsrenovation.com. That's PARS renovation.com, and see what's possible for your home.
Hey, JD, do you want to have a better life?
Yeah, doesn't everybody?
Yes, we do. How do I go about doing that?
A good place to start would be listening to our new show, Staying Power.
What's it about?
It's about all the ways we can overcome the challenges that we sometimes put in front of ourselves to live a better life.
Where can I find it?
You can listen to it on 1150 AM KKNW every Wednesday at 4 p.m. and Fridays at 9 a.m. or wherever you get your podcasts.
Let's do this together every week on Staying Power.
Wondering what's on next on Alternative Talk 1150? Check out 1150kknw.com.
Ready? Welcome back to Staying Power. JD here with Ashley.
Hello.
And we are talking about reframing, recreating, expanding what we think is possible in our lives, kind of getting out of our own way when it comes to what's possible for us. And oftentimes we're doing this without really knowing that we're doing this. And hopefully what we've talked about so far has helped kind of shake that up a little bit. And we're going to talk about some practical ways that we can address this. And I think there's a couple more stories on the way. We'll see. But first, it is time for that weekly segment I mentioned before the break. Here we go. This is always a rough one. It is 2 minutes of terror.
Atrocious.
That's good stuff. That's good.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
So only old people really
It's-
know where
yeah.
that comes from.
I don't know what that came from.
Mr. Bill. Yeah.
What?
It's from Saturday Night Live. Mr. Bill.
Again.
Yeah.
Anyways, okay.
Anyway.
Well, it's not scary. It's just kind of
Challenge.
it is a challenge. It's a thing. Mine is, God help me. My lovely assistant put in her notice because she is moving out of state. And, I was like, okay, I'm very happy for her because I think she's going to have some good life opportunities with the direction her life is taking her. But then I'm also like, okay, now I got to hire somebody again and I got to train them again. And I'm like, you know what? In all my years of dating, I have never been dumped. And I have been dumped so many times by all my assistants at work that I'm beginning to question if I'm the problem. I don't think so, to be honest, because everybody that has worked as my assistant either has moved or they moved.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, so it just was what it was. But it just, I'm like, you know what?
Something wrong with me?
Yes, I self-reflect and I looked inward and I'm like, am I so hard to work for? And I decided.
And the answer is no.
No.
That's what you get.
Because the rest of my staff are so happy to work for me and they love working in my office and they express it often. So naturally I had to take consensus. And everyone said, you're great, Ashley. I'm like, it's obviously
You're also
not me.
the boss.
I'm also,
Of course.
know.
Oh, you're great, Ashley. Yeah.
yeah.
We love working for you.
Peter chocolate, but But no, but anyway,
Oh,
so
that's
it is
funny.
what it is. So anybody want to come work for me? I'm looking.
There you
But
go. You'll love working for us. Just ask
aren't I
her.
great? You should know so much about me by now. It should be a shoo-in. But so I'm upset and sad and also happy for her. But yeah, now I'm going to be doing that whole process again.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh boy.
It's just it's a bit of just training and teaching and all that. But.
Yeah, and you in the unknown. What's the personality of the person?
Yep.
How are they going to work? How are they going to mesh?
Gotta
What's
get them nestled in.
yeah?
with
What areas are
everybody.
they going to be really good at right away?
Yeah.
What areas are going to need work? It's probably different from person to person. I would imagine
It does.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. My terror is similar. I've been hinting at it. The learning curve on a new career path in a completely new field is sometimes really daunting. And what it's done is it's highlighted to me. It's not so much that the terror isn't the learning curve. What has been difficult the last week or so is what that's churned up in me, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't like making mistakes.
Yeah.
Nobody does.
Yeah.
I get that. I seem to have this side of me that can come out in the things that I deem really important, like work.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody doing similar to what was done for you 5 years ago, saying, I really want you to do this. I really think you can do this well, and I really want you to be able to do more than this eventually.
Mm-hmm.
I take that really seriously, particularly from somebody who I genuinely like and genuinely respect and can tell they're investing in me. They're showing a belief in me. It's so strange to have imposter syndrome pop up when mistakes happen, even though nobody in my office is telling me that shouldn't happen. Right? Or that's not okay.
Yeah.
Certainly my boss isn't telling me that, right? In fact, just the opposite all the time. There's a lot to learn.
Right.
There's a lot to learn. And yet somehow I have this side of me that thinks I somehow should be exempt from every other person on the planet who has to learn things this way by making mistakes. And somehow I should be really good at it. And it has everything to do with minimizing the difficulty, the distress, the discomfort, even though I know that's not how this works. And it's just been work more so than recently to kind of let myself not be good at something and just learn and I'm working to reshape that narrative towards I get to learn this. And the more I learn each day, the better I'm going to get at this, rather than, oh God, do I have all this right? I've just realized that lately what I've got to do is I've just got to slow down. When the feelings of, okay, I'm not sure what to do, slow down, take a look, pause. Is there a solution in what I already know? Do I need to go ask somebody for help? If they aren't available right away, can I put this thing down for a minute and move on to something else? I hate doing that. I want to finish one task and move to the next one. So it is highlighting for me some areas where I need to make adjustments, right?
I'm enjoying this.
I know you are, but I'm actually enjoying the fact that you've been there. The way you laid that out, a really, really similar thing. And so even though, and I said this to my boss the other day, I'm not worried about the long term. That's not where the challenge is. The challenge is what is coming up for me as I'm being challenged in the moment, right? And for all the time we talk on this show about telling stories and the importance of recognizing that we're telling stories and not feeding the stories, I would like listeners to take this as an example of what we've said many times. Stories happen to us. Just because we coach on these things doesn't mean we are exempt from them or we somehow mastered them. We have not.
No.
They show up, and the goal is not to squelch them. The goal is to recognize them sooner as time goes by and then not feed them. I have had a struggle the last couple of weeks recognizing them quickly, right? And so that's really where the terror is. Once I recognize them, and usually I have to vocalize them to somebody.
Sure.
I usually can find a way to at least bring myself back, right? But it is interesting. It is interesting right now. So I'm taking a lot of encouragement from your example, by the way.
Well,
so
see,
surf that wave
look
for a
at
while.
me 5 years post being in your shoes,
Yes.
and it worked out, and it was a bumpy ride. And fortunately, you and I both are in situations where our bosses are very understanding.
Yes.
And they lead with some grace, and
They
they
do.
lead with some good.
But also with a lot of
intention.
belief.
Yes.
And I tend to forget that part.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that is, I think the belief, especially when you don't see it in yourself, is like the most empowering thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, if this person, I look up to them, I cherish them, I think they are amazing at what they do.
Mm-hmm.
They are wicked smart.
Yep.
They would recognize if I wasn't capable. So if they do recognize it,
I'll trust it.
then you have to trust that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a great point. That's a great point. And I think that's the thing. And I was saying that to somebody the other day about this issue. I was like, look, I got to decide, am I going to believe my boss or not?
Mm-hmm.
She's been doing this for almost 40 years.
Yeah.
She knows what would
she
work.
would know what works in her field.
Right.
And she's known you for how many years?
10 or 11.
10. Okay.
Yeah.
So without you realizing it, she has been taking an inventory of you for the last decade and is like, I'm pretty sure JD can do this.
Yeah. And she would know.
So
She would know. And so in that sense, when I remember those things, that really helps.
okay.
And all that.
Good.
So, all right. Well, that was a lot
terror.
longer.
That is the longest terror I think JD's ever said.
I think so.
Wow.
I think so. But you
That's
know
okay.
what?
There's some good stuff in there.
There's really good stuff in there. And frankly, it's the other side of discomfort, right? Is where all this, everything we're talking about
Absolutely.
goes, right? Okay. So, what are the things we can do? Well, it'd be really easy to go down, a list, and we could, right? Things like questions like, can I do this? Instead of saying that, which like, can I do this? Can I do this?
Mm-hmm.
What if we shift the question to, what would it take?
Oh,
me
that's
to
a
do
good
this?
shift.
Yeah. What would it take for me to do this?
Mm-hmm.
I'm having to take this advice literally in this moment right now as I say that. Dang. Wow. My own words coming back to me on the page,
They
right?
sound
What would
good.
it take? It shifts things from judgment to problem solving. Can I do this is a judgment question.
Mm-hmm.
Yes or no? And if I can't do this, I'm a failure. If I can do this, what am I? This problem solving is, what would it take to do this? Right? Right? Gathering new evidence, trying something new. You're good at this. Gathering new evidence, trying something new, reframing something a certain way.
Thank you.
Yeah, you are good at that. What else? Anything else come to mind?
For me, when I start to feel that, it just feels like a layer of protection. And then I'm like, well, I don't know what I'm protecting myself from. That is ludicrous. It's not like I have arrows being shot at me all the time. Like, I don't need this protection. This is ridiculous.
Right.
Like, let's break out of that and let's see what's beyond the limitations that I, as you said earlier, quietly settled on myself. And I choose that word carefully, settled, because it means I settled. And that, when I think of me settling, it irritates me very much.
I can't think of a word that would set you
the
off
most unrest will come from the word settled if it's given to me, because I don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
There has always been something in me that's like, no, you are called to do greater things. And I have never felt to the point where I'm like, okay, I found those greater things. I'm still finding those greater things. And I think I probably will for the rest of my life.
Right.
And I'm happy to do them.
Right.
But I notice a lot of times, like in work, like if there's something I'm learning that's new, I will find delays. All of a sudden, other tasks that I never really cared about are really important. I'm like, no. I have put this off for so long. I must do this now. It's like, Ashley, you're not even feeling yourself. Okay. You might have fooled everyone else around you because they don't know any better.
But they all love working for you, so don't worry about it.
Exactly. So I have them snowed. Or like I'll hesitate. There's times where I'm like, I know I need to do this thing and I'm hesitating and I don't want to. And then I rationalize like, well, it makes sense that you're hesitating because of this, this, and this. And I'm still hesitating because of the rationalizations.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, no, we're not. And then when I recognize that, then I just slice it in half. I'm like, no, we're doing it now. I'm pausing everything. We're doing this right now. I don't have time for that shim sham.
That shim sham. Wow,
Yep.
I thought you were going to say something else. But good recovery.
I wasn't even tempted. Are you kidding?
No, it was good. That says more about me than about you. Trust me. But that's okay. So what essentially you're getting at is this a key question: am I protecting myself here, or am I limiting myself here? Or you could rephrase it: am I avoiding something here, or am I limiting? What is it?
Yeah.
That matters a lot. And we also have to, add possibility to our lives on some level. Last week's 2 minutes of triumph, you talked about you getting out and going and listen to live music again. What does that do? Right? Yeah, you're sacrificing time. considering when most of these shows are, you're sacrificing sleep,
Yes.
right? Energy,
Uh-huh.
right? There's money
Yeah.
involved in that, but you're doing that. Different ideas. For me, one primary way of challenging myself is not a surprise to you, reading.
Mm-hmm.
Pull something. And I will read things sometimes. I'll go find them and go, okay, I really like this. I want to find somebody who doesn't agree with this. And I want to go look at this, right? Yeah, I do this a lot.
I really like that about you.
I know.
It makes you a very well-rounded person.
Well, I try. I certainly, I'm very interested because I can be one of those people where I can hear an argument and go, wow, that's a really strong argument. But I also know enough now to know I'm not thinking of everything. So let me find somebody who's coming from the other direction. And I go, oh, yeah, okay. That's a good point, right? And I like that kind of iron sharpening iron intellectually, right? That kind of thing. But what I like about it is that it builds a tolerance for discomfort, right? And we have to do that, right? And like in my job, it's happening, right? One of the ways that they're training us is by showing us kind of, stuff comes at you. So here's something new, learn it, figure it out, be uncomfortable with it. I'm okay with that. What I'm still working on in the job is getting that discomfort and getting better at going, okay, I can figure this out. Let me get some help, right? Let me get this done. Some of the tasks are a little more challenging than others, but I do like the fact that I am getting pushed and pushing myself on it. I'm still working on cultivating that attitude of, okay, yep, this is a challenge. Let me see about how I can address this with a bit more energy rather than more like fear, like trepidation. I can go to that. I don't want to make a mistake. I want to do it right. I'm choosing to be trepidatious about it on some level rather than like, okay, problem solving, right? Because I am a problem solver too.
Yes, you are.
Right. So there's that. What else, Ashley?
Well, when you're growing, because that's what ambition does for you, when you choose to embrace it as you grow, and it requires a lot of things from you. Obviously, you mentioned a lot just now, but you have to recognize the uncertainty of it and your imperfections, and I think the risk. There's a lot of risk in ambition. And I think that's what's so sexy about it, is sexy. You don't know what's going to happen. And I think it's a really attractive thing. And this is somebody who's just confident in themselves. If you're not confident in yourself, you may not agree with this. But because I am very confident in my capabilities and how I do when I learn something and I really take something on, I know I excel. And so I might see something and be like, oh, that's really scary. I don't think I could do that. I can't even imagine myself doing that. And then I'm like, oh, but wait, actually imagine yourself doing that. And imagine just like being a rock star at doing that. Because you could, Ashley, you could. And I do that. And then I have. And I remember I even did this. I don't know if we really have time for the story, so I'm going to keep it really short. But my first job, no surprise, I was a barista at Starbucks. And I remember when I was being hired and whatnot, and I was looking at the people and they were making the beverages and they were moving so fast and they were so knowledgeable and they're talking to people and they're doing everything. And I was like, I'll never be able to do that. And then I was the one like 4 months later they call it the bar, but like on the bar, making all the drinks, and I knew it inside and out, and I could take orders through a drive-thru and talk to people in the lobby and make drinks and all this stuff all in one go. And I was like, who was that little girl that was so scared? Who was she? I don't even know her anymore. Like, look at who I am now. And I think back to that when I have a moment where I'm like, can I do that? I'm like, we did that. And that was scary for you at the age of 15 or whatever.
Right.
What is this? This is the same thing. It's scary until it's not.
Oh, it's scary until it's not. That is a mic drop moment that happens to come right at a point where we actually literally have to drop the mics.
Okay.
And be done. Ashley, thanks for that. I think that encapsulates a lot of this really well. So thank you for that.
You're welcome. Thanks for the topic. That was a good one.
You're welcome. Yeah, I got a lot to think about coming out of that one. Feeling a lot of stuff. It's good. It's good. So thanks for going on that journey. And thank you to all of you for joining us for this episode of Staying Power. We hope you got something out of that. If you did, please let us know. Reach out to us at stayingpowershow@gmail.com. You can also find us on social media. Those are in the show notes at all our different locations, wherever you get your podcasts, our YouTube channel at Staying Power Show, and at our radio home, 1150 AM KKNW. There you can also find lots of information on things we've talked about in each episode. You can also find links to our wonderful sponsor, PARS Revive Renovation. PARS, P-A-R-S, seattlerenovation.com. Take a look at their work, see if it works for you. And if you're in the Seattle area, the Puget Sound area, and you'd like them to take a look at your space, make sure you reach out to them. Make sure you mention you heard about them on Staying Power. See how that goes for you. I think you'll be really pleased with their work and with their service. So thanks very much to them. Ashley, thank you for that.
Thank you, JD.
That was awesome. Thank
fantastic.
you. Yeah, it was awesome. We will see you next week. I'm JD.
I'm Ashley.
See you soon.